Shalom, Ozark Geek here. Hey, it's Sunday, work day, and this is the first day of snow that I've gotten in our area of the Ozarks. Well, as you can see, it's building. We don't have a lot, but it's first snow. It'll probably be gone tomorrow or the day after. All right. Like to do a little conversation, one-sided of course, with the current state of affairs. I'm going to try to verb this out as not to get my channel demonetized, which I don't have enough subscribers that that's going to be an issue, so I'm not going to worry about that, but I don't want to get it deleted. But currently our country is involved in the after effects of the election, the recounts, proposals, various things like that. Lawsuits. Some of the committees on the president's side are throwing lawsuits out to try to get recounts done on the votes or have votes thrown out, so forth. That's still in process. Some are being dismissed as frivolous lawsuits. Others are not. Some in the political ranks and other groups are declaring there is no such thing as voter fraud in this election. But you got to be asleep at the wheel not to see it. These guys are denying it, and that's being portrayed over and over and over again on the major media channels as false and untrue, but yet it is true. And so time will tell about this whole thing going out. We are, as I make this, some 35, 40 days past the November election, and the results still aren't stabilized. This past week saw the state of Texas initiate a lawsuit against other states that, have other states have joined it. Upwards of 19 other states have joined the lawsuit. And on Friday, the Supreme Court denied hearing this. They just basically refused to look at it, and that dismissed it. As I understand, the parties involved are now being encouraged to resubmit with different language. We'll see what happens on that. But the bigger thing that's looming is this week, by normal standards of an election, the electors across the nation are to be casting their votes. Now, as I understand it, there's no deadline for this to actually happen, so that process could be delayed. That process could be delayed until another point in time. But probably the bigger elephant in the room is there's an executive order pending that was to go into effect at 45 days after the election if there's no resolution. This executive order was put in 2018. So this is well before the election process. Now the question I got is the wisdom of how they knew that to actually happen. Why would that be put into play? Why would it be needed to be put into play? But nonetheless, it is. And that is due to, that 45 days is due to expire this week. And the ramifications for that are going to be massive changes, because that has to do with the idea of political interference from outside nations. And the paperwork, documents, videos of this, people denying it, and other people that are saying, yeah, it's there, we got proof. And there's enough of this discussion that it's pretty hard to deny that it's not worth looking into. It absolutely is. So the question is will it, and what will be the outcome? Certain parties are decreeing that a coup has occurred or is occurring. Well, that may or may not be the case, and the question is who's creating the coup? Who's leading it? Because both sides are claiming it. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what the outcome is going to be. I firmly believe that God's in control, and whatever happens is going to be at His will. So what I would like to do is ask all of you to pray. Pray for our country, pray for our leaders, pray for those that are in control of the status, and pray that God's will be done. It will eventually, but pray that you'll accept that will. And then aside from that, most of you that are listening to this are of a, I'll just be plain with it and call it a prepper mentality. And you either are or are planning to move away from the urban areas. And if you haven't thought of it, I would strongly have you consider it, because if this goes down badly, you're going to wish you had. And the actual time to have done it was probably a while back. It's going to be real hard. But when the rest of the sheeple realize what's going on, it's going to be near impossible to get out and get away from urban areas. But get your planning done. Also look at your various methods of communications. Email, telephone, radio. If you don't have a plan for that, start getting a plan in place sooner. I mean, like real soon, now. Look at going to securing your phones, turn your location settings off. Whoa, slipped. Turn your location settings off, turn Wi-Fi off unless you absolutely have to use it, and a couple other things. Look at going to secure emails. There are companies that have offering secure email both in the US and overseas. Consider doing that, and all your important communications, people that you have to stay in touch with, move over to a secure email. Get your ham radios out, get them programmed, get used to using them, learn how to put in programs or channels manually, and learn about etiquette and protocol. And if you haven't gotten it, consider your ham radio license at least a technician class. And yeah, I know now a lot of people, a lot of preppers say, well, you know, when it hits the fan, you know, I'm not going to worry about it because the FCC can't track it. Well, that's a cheap way out. Do it right, because in the process of learning to get your tech license, you'll learn the things that you're going to need to know about how to set up antennas, how to use the communications, how to talk to others, how to relay messages, things like that. Unless you've got somebody in a group, in a mag, that is willing to teach you and guide you and correct you, you're going to have a hard time communicating with others. Learn what the range of your radios are. Learn what you can do to improve and increase that range. Learn about other options, digital modes, text messaging through amateur radio, the programs that are used for that, realize that with these radios, the common radios that everybody's buying anymore are Baofeng radios or something like that. All radios are not secure comms, and there's always a way of eavesdropping in some fashion. But look at some of the digital modes, digital radios, DMR, Fusion, Moto Turbo, a few things like that. That will also help increase the distance of your comms. Look at some of the other bands that you can use that will increase the range of your comms. And tighten up your security locally. Make sure that you're aware of who the people are that you can trust, who your mags are. Talk to them. Make sure you're all on the same page. If you have to or decide that you have to bug out, have your plans for that already made. Know what you're going to do, where you're going to go, what's going to happen after you get there, and stage things ahead of time. I've not talked about this stuff really before, but with the things going on this week, I highly recommend it. So anyway, this is running longer than I expected. I don't normally do 10 plus minute videos, but if you haven't started working on it, thinking about it, it's well past time that you do. So now you got to play catch up. Get involved, get your plans out, start solidifying your plans. Know who you're going to talk to, where you're going to go, what you need to do to get there, and what you're going to do after you get there. But the world is an interesting place right now, and it's just going to get worse. And I don't want to call it more interesting, but I do believe it's going to get worse, a lot worse, before it gets better. If you're listening to me, you don't know who I am. I'm a follower of Messiah. I believe in Jesus, Messiah. And I do my absolute best as I can, the best of my ability, to honor the Father, His commandments, and keep Torah. I encourage you all to do the same. Don't listen to the doctrine of men in church, your pastors. They're not telling you the full truth. As I say this, we're a couple of weeks out from Christmas. Christmas is a lie. Jesus wasn't born on December 25th. And the sooner you understand that, then the sooner you'll start seeing other things that are taught in your church doctrine that is incorrect and will lead you astray. What you have to watch for is your own salvation. And if you leave that to other men, you're going to fall by the wayside. Learn what it's going to take and follow the way. Follow the Father and the commandments. Do these things. All right, that's enough for right now. I'll let you guys go. Ozark Geek out. If you like what you've heard, hit the like button, which is down here somewhere. Hit the subscribe button, and we'll see you on the other side in the next video. Ozark Geek, shalom.